That's the biggest problem with these fucking 3 and 4 year political terms that we end up dealing with in a lot of these democratic nations, is that no one across the fucking spectrum is able to commit or to work on long-term policy to improve the state of the fucking planet. Fluffy shampoo and conditioned hair. Not great with the green screen, is it? Anyway. Hi, welcome back. We are doing an edited video today. I'm super excited, and we are going to be, well, editing this video, not necessarily scripting it, so please forgive me for any mistakes that might make it into the final edit. It's inevitable, but hey, we want a fast, dirty video release, so that's how we're going to do it. We're going to try and keep this video shortish. We'll see how we go anyway. We've got something to respond to sort of get the discussion going, so we're going to have that just after the intro. And since I said intro, that means it is time for the intro. So I'll see you guys on the other side of whatever stinger I've set up for the intro currently. So, God in heaven help me, it's Sky News over here. So this is the video we're going to be responding to. I'm conflicted on putting the link in the doobly-doo. It's fucking Sky News. Who gives a shit about giving them credit? The credit is like right here, like Sky News, whatever. We're sticking with my big beautiful head because we don't really need to see these two idiots in 180p, and we mostly need to listen to what dumbass chicanery they're gonna fucking get up to now. I've listened to about 10 seconds and thought, no, I want to fucking have a go at these guys. So we're gonna have a go at these guys. So let's crack on. I think. It's a 5-minute segment, so hopefully this does not turn into a 1-hour video. Let's aim for that 20-minute mark, which we will get easily if we don't keep talking about getting it and we just go.
Matt, what have you got to add to that?
Our eyes are the dull.
Well, you're spot on, Corey. Unfortunately, the lifeline of foreign workers is shut for some time, and we're going to have to rely on Australians to do Australian work in the next year or so. And it's really important then that we do not continue to offer significant incentives for people to stay home and not go back to work.
Right. Question. I want you to all answer this in your own mind and maybe in the comments. How many people have you heard go, hey, I wish I didn't have to work so I could stay home? Now think about that and contrast that with the people who have said, man, if I didn't go to work, I don't know what I would do. I would get so bored, right? Anecdotally, right? This is not facts. This is just anecdotally. I've heard the latter far more than the former. And I know that if I didn't have to go to work, I would find plenty of ways to fill my time with things that are meaningful and for things that are practical and, you know, things that I think would be valuable to society. So this idea that you either work in the system as it is, or you sit at home dull bludgeoning, as we saw on the little title card they had just a few seconds before, is completely ridiculous and completely designed as propaganda to make people fearful of others not doing anything valuable with their lives. Imagine that. Imagine your concern is if you didn't pay people $20 fucking an hour, that you'd be worried that they would sit at home with their one precious fucking life and waste it because they weren't out earning $20 a fucking hour. Don't at me, because that's not the exact fucking minimum wage at the moment.
I didn't support the increase in job seeker or the dole payment because there is plenty of work out there, and I think we should have encouraged Australians to do that. But I do support...
Hey, big brain over here is telling the people that suffered the most, or some of the people that suffered the most in the pandemic, particularly during the lockdown, was the tourism sector. People that were tour leaders, people that worked in hotel industries, people that worked in fucking boutique retail fucking areas that almost completely relied on tourism to remain profitable. Those fucking places... What skills did they have? Like, they couldn't go and start working in fucking like industrial sectors. They couldn't go and start working as accountants. They couldn't go and start working as teachers. They couldn't just drop what they had done for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years and enter the sectors that started to boom. Sectors like Harvey Norman. Record fucking profits, but you need to know about electrical goods, computer goods, furniture and shit. And it's not something that every single person that was a tour fucking guide had the skills to transfer into directly. That's just one example. So this idea that, well, jobs are there doesn't mean that the right people for those jobs exist immediately, particularly people that built their entire fucking careers on the idea of the booming tourism industry in Australia. So, bullshit. That's not the issue. Let's try again.
The fact that the government has strengthened the number of interviews you've got to do, the mutual obligation in looking for work if you're going to be on the dole. We've got to make that stronger now, because there is no excuse for people. There's no excuse for people to say there isn't work for me where I am. There probably is. And if there's not work for you where you are, well, look, it's a big country and we should be asking people to move to where the work.
If you do not have a job, this is okay. Imagine this. This is the thought process. I assume this is Dave Lizelle. I don't know who the fuck he is. He's not in my fucking area. The Nationals, thankfully, are not a blight on fucking Queensland. We are blessed with one nation instead. There are fucking news articles out there. There was one I was reading earlier today about a recruiter who was saying, "Hey, every time I post a job, I get 100 fucking applicants for that position, particularly when they're generalized jobs, the sort of jobs that this motherfucker here thinks that anyone can apply for, despite whatever experiences or skills they may have developed for the specific industries that may be struggling. 100 in a day for these jobs. The issue isn't for these people to be going to interviews. The issue is for these people to have the right jobs that offer the right money to ensure that they are getting value for their time."
Is if they want government support. It's a choice. They don't have to take the government check. No one's forcing them to go to Centrelink every fortnight.
No one is forcing them to go to Centrelink. No one is forcing a person to go to the place that ensures they get enough money to keep a roof over their head, food in their stomach, fucking pay their utility bills so the electricity's on, so they have either heating if it's fucking cold, or they can keep themselves cool if it's fucking hot, to pay for any medicine they might need, to be able to cover any fucking basics like fucking mobile phones and internet that are hugely important for job seeking these days. Like, no one's forcing them to, ensure they have the basic staples needed to live a fucking life. It's a complete, you know what, I am just going to completely opt out because I'm not being forced into needing money to literally survive. Fuck. It's a choice.
But if they want that support, they should be asked to give something back to our country. It's really important too. This is not just about the small businesses and the farmers. I think it is about those Australians who find themselves in a welfare trap. It is a form of abuse to keep people on such a drip.
Come back to me, camera. Camera, come back to me. It is abuse to ensure that the basic needs of people are not even quite met by the welfare system that we have in place. That is abuse. Like, what fucking monster thinks it's abuse to ensure that people don't die between jobs? Because we all have the fucking chance of getting laid off, of getting fired, of our industry going down, of our business going out of business. That is a risk that everyone faces. And this fuckwit here wants to make sure that that fucking safety net that's meant to catch us, that we agree as a fucking society that we should have the basic needs met to ensure that we can live, that we've got to make sure that that's not too appealing, that no one can get comfortable doing that. God forbid that you actually have some fucking dignity while you look for work. Fuck.
While not incentivising and encouraging them to return to the dignity of work. Because it's only when you provide
the dignity
for yourself
of work
that you will fix up a whole lot of other problems in your life, with their mental health.
The only reason someone might not be employed right now is because of the other problems in their life that led to that. So he said mental health. What are the other issues?
With addiction.
Addiction.
We all know that the best social policy, the best family policy is to give people a job.
You know what's really interesting? So, content warning, because I'm going to briefly touch on suicidal ideation. One of the issues that we face in Western culture is it's not intuitive that we would face the same or greater suicide rates to countries that don't have the same level of wealth or opportunity that we see in places like Australia, America, UK, wherever, Canada. We'll name check you guys, New Zealand, whatever. The issue is that we place so much fucking value and identity on our position as a fucking worker that it becomes an important and intrinsic part of our identity sometimes. And when that is stripped from us, motherfuckers like this that want to talk about dignity being linked to your ability to provide for yourself without any fucking government support means that you're more likely to face things like depression, ostracization, and just fucking feeling like you're trash because you've got to listen to rhetoric like this. So without even getting into the policies that he's advocating for here, the way he talks about people that are in a tough spot, often through no fault of their own, is enough for me to say this motherfucker doesn't deserve any platform or any fucking say at any table that is talking about how we treat and how we care for other Australians that are needing our help as a society. God, give me more.
Well, Matt, look, I think our viewers at home might be a bit confused. Are you somehow associated with the National Party? I can't quite pick it up with your background and the hat and...
Okay, so it's not the David guy that's in the background.
Everything else there.
Mate.
Battle of the Bludge, Aussies won't work. What the fuck is that? Right. Something I'm going to be doing more of on my channel is I'm going to be looking more at the way media aligns our perception of a particular issue through the language that they use. The idea here is that Battle of the Bludge, already, I don't know if this is some like a turn of phrase that's used much in Australia, but that's a riff on Battle of the Bulge. Big, fat, lazy fucking slobs. And it's being used now, being subverted instead of bulge, bludge. Fantastic. Switch the U and the L. You've got another fucking headline there. Aussies won't work. We have not yet in this interview discussed potentially why people aren't working, what some of the issues that may be facing Australian workers are. And we are assuming that they don't have dignity, that they are struggling with mental health or addiction, and Battle of the Bludge, we're trying to frame this in a position that they're lazy, they're slobbish, they're fat, they're probably stinky. Like, fuck me. This is meant to be news. This is not meant to be a fucking editorialism. This is why Sky News is a piece of fucking trash. And I don't say that because I think other news articles or news reporting media companies are good. Some of them are better. Fucking Sky News is right up there with pieces of shit in terms of the way that they use language to frame their audience to have an opinion that they want them to have on a particular issue. They are fucking horrendous at it, and we will go through it in more detail in the future. But holy shit, Battle of the Bludge. Like, why the fuck is that on the ticker?
What are you doing, mate?
South of the
Where
tweet,
are
I am
you?
a Nat. South of the tweet, I'm a Nat. You know I'm a Nat, Corey. I've been trying to get you in the party for years. You should have stayed. You could have stayed around. You would have found a welcome home.
Rise of the Dole Bludgers.
I am in
what's with
the
all the
Upper Hunter
livery?
here tonight. I'm in the Upper Hunter tonight. There's a bit of an election on here tomorrow. So I'm in Singleton. And
Motherfuckers
it's a
won that
pretty
election
important
too.
It could determine the future of the New South Wales government. Now, my view is that the New South Wales government has been the best performing government through COVID. I'd love to...
Victoria is currently the best performing government in terms of jobs that have been... basically, they've got the lowest unemployment rate against what they had pre-COVID and post-COVID. They're bouncing back faster. Victoria has done the best when it comes to job numbers.
Say it was Queensland, where I'm from, but Anastasia Palaszczuk's been a bit up and down through...
Boom! Yeah, fuck her up.
And John Barilaro have been the sensible voice throughout COVID. They've responded to the virus and made tough...
I'm not going to get into this, but yeah, like hugely subjective there.
Decisions to put restrictions on and shut down businesses when had to, but they haven't done so necessarily, and they've opened up when we could. They've been vindicated time and time again, and I don't want to see. I'd hope to see the people at a time of COVID would back.
Are we done with the job stuff?
Upper Hunter, the Nationals candidate, who you know your job is safe with him. Your job is safe for the Nationals Party because they support the farming.
Because your job is the most important thing about you.
And most of all, They just support business trying to make sensible decisions here through what has been a very, very difficult time for our nation.
Is this it?
Sticking just with the upper hunter for a second, you know, there
I
are some
don't care about the
regional
upper
communities
hunter.
that have done it tough. They've got the mice plagues happening now and a whole range of other things. It's never easy in regional Australia. What are the things that need to be addressed realistically by the state government?
All right, is this just going to be
first of all, I
fucking
wanna say
state
there's
government?
So much positivity here in the Hunter region. Oh, this is my third trip here.
Right, I don't know if I care about the rest. Actually, let's do a bit of skipping to the end, and we'll see how we go.
We've got this great base of farming and coal mining.
Sorry, this is news reporting, right? This is a news... Sorry, you might have been confused for a second that we were watching an ad for the Nationals that is being broadcast. But no. This is Rupert Murdoch, news fucking channel, Sky News Australia, reporting on how awesome the National Party is in the regional areas of New South Wales. News.
They've built up these fantastic businesses. I was at a component suppliers employees today because of the support he's gotten from the coal mining industry, where we can grow and develop our manufacturing at the moment. I had to make sure my door was closed at the hotel last night so none got in. But, yeah, those are temporary things.
There's a fucking plague of mice there at the moment. Like, if you look it up, look up mice plague, New South Wales, wherever the fuck it is. Like, it is stark. It is a serious fucking issue that the government needs to address. And he's like, yeah, there's mice plague. I had to keep the hotel door closed. That's a temporary thing. It'll pass. Motherfucker. It's a big fucking deal when a plague hits because the ramifications of that are massive. Jesus.
The future here is so bright. The biggest threat to it is ourselves, though. The biggest threat to it is if...
There's a Labor Party.
The Labor Malcolm Turnbull alliance into power here in New South Wales that want to shut down industries that could otherwise continue.
They want to replace those industries with renewables, and renewables will actually bring in a larger economic boom than the dying fossil fuels. But anyway, we won't let facts get in front of our feelings.
People want to demand our coal. There's very strong demand.
I called it again. I literally haven't heard any of this. I'm just being a fucking smartass. And literally, beat for fucking beat. How the fuck do these conservatives keep getting voted in when it is so fucking easy to disprove this bullshit about coal and gas and all these fucking fossil fuels that are killing the planet, when it's so easy to prove that they just don't have a fucking care for the normal average working person. They only give a shit about the companies that are already in power, already making money, and they're trying to get every last fucking dollar out of them, because when their term is up, when it's time for them to hand the baton to the next fucking member of their party, not their fucking problem. That's the biggest problem with these fucking 3 and 4 year political terms that we end up dealing with in a lot of these democratic nations, is that no one across the fucking spectrum is able to commit or to work on long-term policy to improve the state of the fucking planet. All they can really get votes on is what can they achieve in the next, realistically, 2 years. Because by the time they do a transition into power, by the time they get frozen before the next election, they need to deliver shit within that short time frame. And we can't fix the most serious problems that we face in those fucking timeframes. And that's why we as voters need to become more engaged and keep them more accountable for long-term solutions to economic problems, to fucking environmental problems, to fucking social problems. So we get people in these fucking seats that actually give a shit about 2030, 2040, 2050, not just about 2022, 2023 and what they can fucking spruik in the next fucking cycle.
For high quality hunter coal right now in the world.
Coal.
The only
Coal.
thing that can shut it down is the Labor Party teaming up with Malcolm Turnbull in the
Do it.
Matt Canavan, you've learned your lessons well. You are one of the most enthusiastic spruikers for regional Australia right across the country. But as soon as you link Malcolm...
Fucking Queensland has one of the most spread out populations in Australia in terms of how far we spread across the state and how dense some of our more further regional areas are. Like, I know Western Australia is much bigger than Queensland, but because their population is a lot more sparse, it doesn't have the same. Anyway, maybe that's just my Queenslander blinkers on and I'm thinking blah. But I guarantee you there are some really passionate fucking people about regional parts of Queensland that these fucking New South Wales people don't give a shit about. And that's fine. Not their jurisdiction. But fucking Sky News banging the fucking drum for the fucking National Party as if it is news. Fuck. Where's the Labor candidate? Like, surely they've had Labor candidate on Sky News. I'm going to have to get a fucking comb out. If you find, or if you come across anything, if you're sadistic and you do watch Sky News, can you please link me? Hit me up on Twitter or maybe not the comments, because I don't know if links come down in the comments. But link me if they've done any Labor. Like something like this for Labor or the Greens or the fucking New Liberals, whatever.
Turnbull to anyone. It's the kiss of death. So well done on that. Good
Well done.
More strength to the coalition's arm. I think it's really important that we have a Conservative government right around the country.
Say the quiet part out loud. This is a fucking news network.
Or as Conservative as it possibly can be. So thanks for your time tonight.
No worries, Corey. Have a good weekend.
No worries, Corey. Have a good weekend. All right, we're done with that shit. We are done with that shit.